Hey friends, if you're looking for quick tips to help you jumpstart your week, you are in the right place. I'm Lori Palau, host of the popular weekly podcast, Organized Life, founder of Simply Be Organized. And every Monday, I am here to bring you a quick organizing tip in under 15 minutes. All you have to do is click the subscribe or follow button wherever you're listening, and let's get started. Hi, everybody. I'm Lori Palau, and Happy New Year. If you are just now finding us, welcome to our little corner of the podcast universe. We come here every Monday to bring you a quick, actionable tip wherever you are in your organizing, decluttering journey. I've been doing this for, oh my gosh, we're kicking off our 8th year in podcasting, which is like crazy town. And over the years, we've learned from you guys that organizing is more than just the physical stuff. It's more than your closet and your pantry and the garage and all of the stuff from, growing up. It's about, how do I create more margin in my life? How do I build new and healthy habits? How do I parent my kids in a way that I'm teaching them and empowering them to not put emphasis on the physical stuff? And how do we navigate all of it? And it's a lot. And I'm right here with you and along the journey. So again, so excited that you're here. New Year is a great reset time. It is certainly not the only time we can reset our lives and start to declutter, get organized, start to practice minimalism, whatever it is that you want to do at any given date throughout the year. However, January is notorious for a reset time. And so I wanted to kick off our 2024 episode talking about a topic that we've discussed before. And I think it is critical to the foundational principles of living an organized life. And that is habit stacking. And for any of you guys that don't know what it is, it's basically you take something that you're already doing, something that's already ingrained in your wheelhouse of like something like brushing your teeth, getting out of bed, whatever it is that you do without thinking about it. And then you take whatever new habit you want to start to develop and you build it from that. So you're not starting from scratch. You're not willpowering yourself to do it. You're not white knuckling your way to doing it. You are saying, okay, I'm already doing this. I may as well add on something else to it. We did an episode on habit stacking last year, and one of our guests that was on was talking about she does a lot in like exercise, physical fitness, and she has this habit stacking, and she calls them her P squats. And so every time you go to the bathroom, you do 10 squats. And so that is a perfect example of something that you're doing where you're like, I want to exercise more. I want to do more squats. Well, every time you go to the bathroom, which we know we're going to do, you do 10 squats. So if you go to the bathroom 5 times during the day, you just did 50 squats. So I just love that concept. And it could be anything. And we're obviously going to talk about it in the context of organizing and some of the things that you can do. So one of the more popular books that gets recommended on our show. So if you, again, are new to our show, we have a long episode on Thursdays. Our Mondays are our quick tips. And we ask all of our guests what's a book that's been transformational in their life or that they recommend. And we have a whole Amazon list in our storefront. So if you want to go purchase them easy, we put them all in there. So one of the books that is repeatedly recommended is the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. And he talks all about the principle of habit stacking. And so again, if you want to like do a deeper dive into it, that's a great resource for you to check it out. But by building from a geeky neuroscience perspective, by building onto an existing habit or routine, it allows your brain to adopt the new habit easier than if you were just trying to create it from scratch. So again, going back to the whole like analogy of the P squats, you're doing something already, and then your brain just triggers the new thought and to action. So again, what I want to do today is outline what I've done actually is outlined 5 different places that you can use as a jumping off point, because you might be thinking, oh, I want to build in a new healthy habit. I'm just not sure how, where, what to do. So I'm going to outline 5 different areas for you to think about what makes sense in your life. Because again, just like organizing a physical space, there's not a one size fits all. And different strategies are going to resonate differently with different people. So here we go. So the first one is obvious, first thing in the morning. So you think about people whose peak productivity time, and I talk a lot about that in my book, Hot Mess. Peak productivity time is when you are at your best. Some people are morning people, some people are night owls, some people will get like, a lot of energy in the middle of the day. So identifying your peak productivity time is a great time for you to build on new things. And if that is you in the mornings, you might want to look to build a new habit right after you wake up in the morning, something very early. And again, these new habits could be something, it doesn't have to be in your classic traditional sense of organizing. It could be, I want to um, start to journal in the morning. Or it could be something like, I want to unload the dishwasher before the kids get up so that when we have our breakfast dishes, we can just load them right in. So I'm going to get up, and when I pour my coffee, I am going to unload the dishwasher. That's just one example. So just think about what in your life, what are you already doing that you can just add, you can stack onto that. All right. The second place or the second time would be when you're in your car. I think that's another time that a lot of us have dedicated, that we have certain habits, rituals, routines that we do. We get in our car, we listen to a podcast. We get in a car, we stop at the drive through and get a cup of coffee. Whatever it looks like for you. I think there's a lot of um routines that we just kind of develop organically when we get in the car, we call somebody, whatever it looks like to you. Thinking about something that you can do. Maybe maybe one of your goals is to reconnect with people more. Maybe you're so busy during the day because you're busy at work, you're busy with your kids, you're busy with all the other things that you have going on in your life. Maybe you want to make more time for people. So you say, okay, when I get in the car, I know for me, when I get in the car and I go to the gym, that's a trigger for me to say, mother-in-law, and check in on her. Because I know when I'm home, I'm usually doing 1,000 different things, and I don't really have the time to give her my undivided attention. But when I'm in the car, I happen to be by myself because my kids are grown. So I'm in the car by myself and I'm able to do those things. So again, this may or may not work for you. Car might be crazy time. But if it's not, think about things that you can do in the car that will give you, that you can allow yourself to build on. Okay, third one, and this was a big one for me when my kids were younger, is that time right before your kids come home from school. Now, it depends obviously on the stage of life that you're in, what your job looks like. If you have a job that you work from home and you are home when your kids get off the bus, this is really more designed for like, I'm at home, either working from home or I'm a stay at home mom. And I know when the kids get off the bus at whatever time, 3 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock, whatever that is, it's going to be a tornado for the next 2 hours because we're going to have homework, food, snacks. I got to run them to this activity, that activity, all the things. So I need to be at my best. So what does that might look like? That might look like I'm going to sit and have 15 minutes of peace, uninterrupted quiet. That might mean I'm going to start prepping dinner. I'm going to throw some stuff in a crock pot because I know that, and maybe you'll do that earlier, but you know what I'm saying? Like you might want to use that time to do something because it's another transition time. I like to think about building habit stacking on transition time. So again, you're thinking about the morning. Now you're thinking about when the kids are coming home from school, or maybe after you drop them off at school. And then the fourth place or the fourth time is that in the evening after dinner time. And again, this is going to vary depending on what your life is like, what your situation is like. I know that for many of us out there, many of you out there, you're running your kids around, especially if you have multiple kids, different activities till, 9 o'clock at night. I've been there. I know that that's exhausting mentally, physically, all the things. But for me, when my kids were small and I was home and I had a little bit more, I guess, control over our schedule, It allowed me that after dinner, before we switch into like chill mode and relaxing, that's when I want to get stuff done. So maybe that means you want to start prepping school lunches, or you want to make sure that you're tired of the dishes being left in the sink. And so you're going to start to put a practice into place that before we go upstairs to shower and get in our pajamas, we're going to make sure that we load the dishwasher as soon as we leave the table. So we're not just going to leave the table. We're going to leave the table and put the stuff right in the dishwasher, and then we're going to run it. I don't know why I keep coming back to dishes, but I feel like dishes are a big thing for people. But it doesn't have to be. Obviously, that's I just have dishes on the brain. But I know for myself, speaking strictly for myself, once I move into that wind down time when my kids were small, after they got a bath and we were reading books or chilling out, or even when they were bigger and we got home from practice and they were showering, once I sit down, I'm done. I'm toast. All I want to do is cozy up on the couch with a bottle of wine and call it a day. And I don't want to do anything remotely productive. I just want to sit there and veg out and watch like HGTV or bad Bravo shows and just enjoy myself for whatever little time I have until the next chaos starts. So for me, I want to really build all these healthy habits that I to whatever's stressing me out before I reward myself by sitting down, if that makes sense. And then the last time that I think is a also for some people, totally not for me, but for some people, habit stacking is before bed. Now again, I this is foreign for me because I am way more a morning person than I am a night person. But for a lot of people who are night owls, the best time for them to get stuff done and actually be productive or organized is later at night. And so, if that is you, and maybe you have a job, maybe you work in a restaurant or you work a night shift of something, or you sleep in late so that you're up late, thinking about all these little things that you can do. When can you carve out time that it's going to make sense for you? And whether that is 10 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it doesn't matter. It's what are the habits that I want to build, whether that is yelling at my kids less, whether it is uh, not leaving, dishes and toys around, whatever that looks like. Exercise. How can I start small and build on something that I'm already doing? What aligns similarly that will be enough of a trigger for me? Think about like the already existing routines and habits that you have in your life, and what can you just one incremental step build on. That's all you have to do. That's it. Just one incremental step. And then once you've mastered that and that becomes second nature, then you continue to build upon that. And that is, in a nutshell, the whole premise behind habit stacking. Remember, the whole goal isn't to just go out there and run the marathon. It's being very specific, being very intentional, being deliberate, and just finding that discipline in the easiest way possible, which again is piggybacking off of something that you're already doing. So habit stacking is built off incremental change. We're here, we're playing a long game, people. And so I would love to hear what your habit stacking goals are. So drop us a comment, shoot us a DM. If you're not already on our email list, I encourage you definitely go get on our email list. We send out recaps and transcripts of the email of each episode every single week. So if you prefer to kind of read it as opposed to listen, we got you covered there. And we would love to hear from you. So I'm so grateful that you're here. Please, if you're not already following our show, just click the follow button wherever you're listening, Spotify, Apple. If you're watching us on YouTube, shout out there. Thank you. Our tip of the weeks have become super popular. We just started them last year, and they're some of our most popular episodes to date. And so obviously this is stuff that people just want, these bite-sized nuggets. So if there's a specific topic that you want talked about, let us know. we are here to serve you. So again, I'm so happy to be kicking off 2024 with y'all. And I will be back on Thursday with another amazing episode, another great guest. And until then, I'm Lori Palau. Peace out. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, please spread the love and share it with your friends. And if this is your first time joining us, make sure to click the subscribe button wherever you are listening so you never miss an episode. And while you're there, please leave us a review so other people know that our show is worth the listen. You can also find us on YouTube and Instagram at This Organized Life Podcast. And if you'd like to connect with us, you can head on over to our website at simply the letter B like boy organized.com, which is filled with tons of resources, including free downloads, checklists, links to our amazing organizing partners, and all of our digital offerings. I'll see you next week for another episode of This Organized Life.